20 minutes into 11 a.m. in Central African time. Welcome to the program. If you've just started listening, AI, well, it's changing the creative world. But what happens when your voice, image, or music can be copied and used without your permission? Sounds like big trouble, doesn't it? Well, as AI-generated music and synthetic voice becomes more sophisticated, the conversation is no longer just about copyright. It's also about consent, it's about identity, and it's about ownership. We're joined in studio by Doreen Mokoena, who is the founder and chief executive officer of CyberSec Clinique and Tract, to talk to us about how artists and creatives can protect their work and digital identities in this age that we find ourselves in of artificial intelligence, particularly looking at artists that could be affected by all this drama, if you will, here in South Africa, as it were. So we're going to pick up this conversation, which is really, really important. Doreen, welcome to the program. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much for having me. What a beautiful introduction.
You are most welcome. You're most welcome.
I'm actually thinking that I think you're doing my job way better than me.
Am I speaking the right language?
Listen, all the synthetic, the next thing you're going to be throwing large language models. I'll be like, okay, I don't.
It doesn't get that deep. I'm a girl of agri. But let's talk about these companies that you've established.
Yep.
I'd like to get an understanding of, just how you fit this puzzle of artificial intelligence and the protection of artists.
Yep. So my name is Doreen. I'm from CyberSec Clinique. I started a company called CyberSec, which specializes in digital forensics, IT, and AI research. A couple of years, 6 years ago to be precise. And this year, interesting enough, the Atlantic released a very lovely tool called the AI Watchdog, which more artists around the globe were using just to find their music. So we went in there and we ran a very big research just to audit South African artists and just to establish what the posture is inside these machines. Because, it's very important to be an artist which is attributable. And attribution means that if your voice is being used, it must be matched correctly to a specific song that has been produced by AI. Now, it turns out that, American companies are now suing this specific AI generator company using this specific tool, and it happens that South African artists are actually contained in those data sets as well. So we did a search of a data pipeline of about 12 million data sets, and we released those infographic publicly, and we are about to release the research as well, just to show the country that AI and our culture is not one of the exports that we did authorize as a country. If our music is going to be used, if creative works is going to be used, there has to be accountability. But more than anything, there has to be payments of some sorts, because this is my work. This is my claim to fame, and this is what I go to bed eating every day. But if a machine now is going to purport to do my work way better than me, then there has to be some sort of accountability there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take it back a notch, because I think we need to get an understanding of what exactly the problem is, before we establish how you're coming in to solve it. So if we're looking at AI now copying an artist's voice or the likeness, as I've heard some people say, how is that done, and what exactly are we talking about there?
So basically, what the model does is it trains. It keeps on training on your voice so that it can identify and sound like you. So one of the biggest American artists, she declined to be featured, in a song. And instead of the feature artist, he went and used an AI to copy her voice exactly as it is. And it's a very big lawsuit going on. So what we're trying to say is that your voice is your trademark, is your tool. That's how you make your living. That's how you create a legacy out of your creative work. Now, if it's being used, creative work is actually being used, but it has to be licensed in a way. The ownership has to be explicitly defined. Now, if AI is really harvesting, our identity, because, in these data sets, you find data sets dating back to your Mawilis, to your Makendlas, you know, I mean,
That's like decades ago.
yes, you know, to
Yeah.
your Freddy Kwala, I mean, the Palotones, this is our culture. So what they do is they map it per genre. So you look at Skom, you look at Kwaito, you look at Marabi, you look at all this music. So AI now doesn't need South African music to study our culture, our voices, our rhythm. They just prompt a song. Your song comes out, they listen, they learn, they master it. Then they reproduce another you.
It's just become easier. I mean, I'm really shocked, but there is a part of my spirit that should not be because, okay, not to reveal secrets here. But, you know, back when there was no artificial intelligence,
Yeah.
there would be musicians that are accused of pinching, you know, certain lines from an old musician who perhaps is no longer alive and, you know, working that into their music in a way that can't necessarily be identified. So these things have been done before. It's obvious that now with technology and artificial intelligence, it's become so much easier to do that. But what is particularly for artists, let's talk about what the difference between protecting
Yep.
your copyright and protecting your identity. You know, what is the difference there?
So, thank you so much for asking that question because I've been planning to talk about, you know, identity, securing your identity online as an artist. So securing your identity, it's more than how you appear, your appearance. And I'm not a music manager, but I'm speaking as a cybersecurity specialist right now. There is something called cyber squatting. Most artists are not aware of, but so cyber squatting transpires when you register your domain name, you know, newsafrica.co.za, and maybe you let it expire, or you don't actually secure the name. And someone else who cyber squats your name goes in there and they become DJ Channel Africa.co.za. They secure bookings. You know, they sell tickets. They do all of these things purporting to be you because you haven't secured your digital identity. Now, we have a lot of promoters saying, this artist didn't pitch. We booked you via your WhatsApp, via your website. And it turns out that you don't even know that, you know, you do have that estate, that infrastructure available online. So protecting your digital identity is more than just a Facebook profile and a Twitter account. It goes way beyond that. You know, it's about protecting your digital identity. It's about pushing your website, pushing your search engine optimization, making sure that your music is protected. These days, most artists now use cloud to store their music. But cloud can be hacked as well. So what control measures are actually there to protect your music? Years ago, we had to fight off music piracy, you know, because they would go, you know, and steal your music. But right now, they don't even need to host, you know, this pirated sites. They just go there and steal, you know. So that's what happens right now.
In broad daylight.
In broad daylight. So being an artist goes way beyond the creative arts. There's also a very specific niche part of the industry that has to be looked at, which is cybersecurity and synthetic media as well.
Okay, in like a minute, can you please explain to us, because we're using South Africa as an example, but
Yep.
this could affect you whether you're in the Gambia or Ghana or wherever you're listening from. But when we look at artists, you know, perhaps from South Africa, do they understand what they're dealing with here? Are they sufficiently protected by the current laws when it comes to this AI generated content and, you know, protecting likeness, etc.?
So it's unfortunate that you know, South Africa currently doesn't have an AI policy because it was withdrawn, and we know the reason why it was withdrawn. But obviously, I mean, in absence of a specific regulation or law and act, we know what takes precedence in that regard. But talking about artists understanding what's happening, I don't think they do understand. Most of them do. I actually saw an article and a video of one of the artists who picked up the research and spoke about how his music is shaping, you know, the future machines and shaping how South African culture is being exposed. So some of them do understand, but right now, I just want to appeal to that record label, to that collection agency, to that law firm. So South Africa, we do have an issue with emerging technologies, which is AI and the like, and deepfakes and like not. There are people who have what we call digital illiteracy. I mean, this person, they know how to use Facebook, but they do not know the control measures of safety. Now, some of them don't even know how to use a computer. They've never seen a computer in their life, but they know how to make music. These people have no idea what's happening with their music. How do we then, as a country, as a collective, as a multi-stakeholder collaboration, go to these people and say, listen, this is what's happening. Let's help you search if your music is there. Let's build attribution models as a country that will identify our creative works in these data sets and actually maybe get accountability from this.
It sounds like it's going to be a long road. You have a lot of work to do through CyberSec Clinic.
Yeah.
A lot of work to do. But thank you very much, Doreen. Unfortunately, we've run out of time.
Yep.
Doreen Mokoena, founder and chief executive officer of CyberSec Clinic and Tract. Perhaps it would be in your best interest to get in touch with her because she understands where the world is going when it comes to your artistry and will be able to give you some tips as to how you can continue this journey on in a more meaningful way. 11:32, we have pinched a little bit of Figilele Ngwati's time, but he's now standing by with the latest in sports.
Celebrating women.